Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's been sparking conversations everywhere. The masculine energy that women find absolutely irresistible. This isn't about stereotypes, outdated tropes, or some cookie-cutter guide to being a real man. No, we're going to unpack what masculine energy truly means, why it resonates so powerfully, and how you can cultivate it authentically in your life. Whether you're a guy looking to understand this energy better, or someone curious about the dynamics of attraction, this video is for you. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's get started on this journey. Masculine energy isn't about being the loudest guy in the room or flexing your biceps at every opportunity. It's a deeper, more intentional force that comes from within. It's about confidence, purpose, and presence. When we talk about what women find irresistible, it's not just physical traits, though those can play a part. It's the vibe you give off, the way you carry yourself, and how you make others feel in your presence. Think about the men who leave a lasting impression. They're not always the flashiest, but they have this undeniable aura. That's what we're exploring today. How to tap into that energy and make it your own. Let's start with the foundation of masculine energy, confidence. Confidence isn't arrogance or pretending you have all the answers. It's about being secure in who you are, flaws and all. Women are drawn to men who know themselves, who aren't constantly seeking validation or approval. This kind of confidence shows up in small ways, like maintaining eye contact during a conversation, speaking with conviction, or not being afraid to admit when you're wrong. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. When you're comfortable in your own skin, it creates a magnetic pull that's hard to ignore. But confidence alone isn't enough. It needs to be paired with purpose. Masculine energy thrives on direction, on having a why that drives you. This doesn't mean you need to have your entire life figured out or be a CEO by 30. Purpose can be as simple as pursuing a passion, working toward a personal goal, or striving to be a better version of yourself every day. Women notice when a man has ambition, not just in a career sense, but in how he approaches life. Are you someone who's coasting? Or are you actively building something, whether it's your character, your skills, or your relationships? That sense of purpose is like a beacon. It signals that you're a man with vision. Now let's talk about presence, because this is where the magic happens. Presence is about being fully in the moment, whether you're having a deep conversation, sharing a laugh, or even just listening. In a world full of distractions, phones, notifications, endless to-do lists, being present is a rare and powerful trait. When you give someone your undivided attention, it makes them feel seen and valued. Women in particular are attuned to this. They can sense when you're truly engaged versus when you're just going through the motions. Cultivating presence means slowing down, listening actively, and letting go of the need to always have the perfect thing to say. Another key piece of masculine energy is emotional strength. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or acting like a stoic robot. Quite the opposite. Emotional strength is about being in control of your emotions rather than letting them control you. It's about staying calm under pressure, handling rejection with grace, and being a steady presence when things get tough. Women are naturally drawn to men who can be a rock, not because they need saving, but because it creates a sense of safety and trust. This kind of strength comes from self-awareness, from knowing your triggers and working on them so you can show up as your best self. Let's pivot to authenticity, because none of this works if you're just putting on a mask. Masculine energy isn't about copying someone else's playbook or trying to be the alpha you saw in a movie. It's about embracing who you are and owning it unapologetically. Women can spot inauthenticity a mile away. If you're trying too hard to impress or pretending to be someone you're not, it's going to backfire. The most attractive men are those who are true to themselves, who aren't afraid to show their quirks or vulnerabilities. Authenticity builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any meaningful connection. Now let's get into the physical side of things, because while masculine energy is mostly internal, how you present yourself matters. This isn't about having a chiseled jawline or six-pack abs, though taking care of your body is important. It's about effort. The way you dress, groom, and carry yourself sends a message about how you value yourself. A man who puts thought into his appearance, who stands tall and moves with purpose, exudes confidence without saying a word. It's not about being vain. It's about respecting yourself enough to show up as your best. Communication is another huge piece of the puzzle. Masculine energy is expressed through how you speak and listen. This means being clear and direct without being aggressive. It's about saying what you mean and meaning what you say, Women appreciate men who can communicate their thoughts and feelings without playing games or leaving them guessing. But it's not just about talking, it's about listening, really listening. When you ask thoughtful questions and show genuine interest in what she's saying, it creates a connection that goes beyond surface-level attraction. Let's talk about leadership, because masculine energy often involves taking the lead, not in a domineering way, but in a way that inspires trust. This could be as simple as planning a date and taking care of the details, or as big as stepping up in a challenging situation. Leadership is about initiative, about being someone who makes things happen rather than waiting for someone else to call the shots. Women are drawn to men who can take charge with confidence and competence, while still respecting their input and independence. Another aspect of masculine energy is protection, not just in a physical sense, but emotionally and mentally. This means creating a space where the people in your life feel safe to be themselves. It's about standing up for what's right, being reliable, and showing that you've got their back. Women are naturally drawn to men who make them feel secure, not because they're weak, but because it's human nature to seek out people who bring stability and strength. This kind of protection comes from a place of care, not control. Now let's address something that often gets overlooked: humor. A good sense of humor is a hallmark of masculine energy. It shows intelligence, creativity, and the ability to not take life too seriously. Women love men who can make them laugh, not because they need constant entertainment, but because humor creates a bond. It lightens the mood, breaks the ice, and shows that you're confident enough to be playful. The key is to keep it natural. Forced jokes or trying too hard to be funny can fall flat. Let your humor shine through in a way that feels true to you. Respect is non-negotiable when it comes to masculine energy. This means respecting yourself, the women in your life, and everyone around you. It's about treating people with dignity, honoring boundaries, and never resorting to manipulation or disrespect to get what you want. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to respect. They can tell when it's genuine and when it's just a front. A man who respects others while maintaining his own standards is someone who commands admiration effortlessly. Let's dive into the concept of polarity, because this is where masculine and feminine energies really come into play. Polarity is the dynamic tension between these two forces, and it's what fuels attraction. Masculine energy is often characterized by structure, logic, and action, while feminine energy leans toward flow, intuition, and nurturing. Neither is better or worse. They complement each other. Women are drawn to men who embody masculine energy because it creates a balance, a push and pull that feels electric. The key is to embrace your masculine traits without suppressing or undervaluing the feminine aspects of yourself. Vulnerability is another piece of the puzzle, and it's one that's often misunderstood. Masculine energy doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable or hiding your feelings. In fact, vulnerability is a strength. It's about being honest about your fears, dreams, and struggles. Women respect and connect with men who can open up without losing their sense of self. It's not about oversharing or seeking sympathy. It's about showing your human side. When you let someone in, it deepens trust and creates a bond that's hard to break. Let's talk about consistency, because masculine energy isn't a one-time performance, it's a way of being. Women are drawn to men who show up consistently, whether it's in how they treat others, pursue their goals, or handle challenges. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the bedrock of attraction. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but it does mean being reliable. If you say you're going to do something, follow through. If you make a promise, keep it. Small actions done consistently speak louder than grand gestures. Another element of masculine energy is decisiveness. Women appreciate men who can make decisions with confidence, even if it's just choosing a restaurant or picking a movie. Decisiveness shows that you trust your judgment and aren't afraid to take responsibility for the outcome. Of course, this doesn't mean being rigid or ignoring input. It's about weighing. Another element of masculine energy is decisiveness. Women appreciate men who can make decisions with confidence, even if it's just choosing a restaurant or picking a movie. Decisiveness shows that you trust your judgment and aren't afraid to take responsibility for the outcome. Of course, this doesn't mean being rigid or ignoring input. It's about weighing options, making a call, and standing by it. Indecision, on the other hand, can come across as insecurity or lack of direction, which can dampen attraction. Whether it's planning a date or navigating a tough conversation, showing you can take the lead with clarity is a powerful trait. Let's explore the idea of self-discipline, because masculine energy is deeply tied to mastery over oneself. Discipline isn't just about hitting the gym or sticking to a budget. It's about aligning your actions with your values and goals. Women notice when a man has control over his habits, whether it's how he manages his time, his emotions, or his impulses. A disciplined man is someone who can delay gratification, stay focused, and keep his word to himself. This kind of inner strength is attractive because it signals reliability and maturity, qualities that resonate on a deep level. Now let's touch on ambition. Not the cutthroat, climb the corporate ladder kind, but the quiet drive to grow and improve. Ambition is about having a spark, a desire to create something meaningful in your life, whether it's a career, a creative project, or a stronger version of yourself. Women are drawn to men who are hungry for something, who aren't content to just drift through life. It's not about being a workaholic or chasing status. It's about having a fire in your belly that pushes you to evolve. That kind of energy is contagious and inspiring. Another aspect of masculine energy is curiosity. A man who's curious about the world, whether it's learning new skills, exploring new places, or asking thoughtful questions, has a vibrancy that's hard to resist. Curiosity shows you're open-minded and engaged with life, which makes you more interesting and dynamic. Women love men who can spark their own curiosity, who bring fresh perspectives or invite them into new experiences. It's not about being a know-it-all. It's about staying humble and eager to grow. Let's talk about boundaries, because this is a cornerstone of masculine energy. Setting and respecting boundaries shows you value yourself and others. It's about knowing your limits, communicating them clearly, and honoring the boundaries of those around you. Women respect men who can say no when necessary, who don't bend over backward to please everyone at the expense of their own well-being. Boundaries create a sense of safety and mutual respect, which are essential for any meaningful connection. Physical touch is another piece of the puzzle, though it's one that requires sensitivity and awareness. Masculine energy often expresses itself through physicality, not just in romantic contexts, but in how you interact with the world. A firm handshake, a reassuring pat on the back, or a gentle touch at the right moment can convey confidence and warmth. In romantic settings, touch can amplify attraction, but it's crucial to read the room and respect consent. When done right, physical touch can deepen connection and communicate care in ways words can't. Let's dive into the role of gratitude in masculine energy. A man who practices gratitude, whether it's appreciating the people in his life, the opportunities he's been given, or even the challenges that have shaped him, has a grounded, positive presence. Gratitude isn't about being Pollyanna-ish. It's about recognizing the good without ignoring the hard stuff. Women are drawn to men who can find joy in the small moments, who don't take life for granted. That kind of mindset creates an uplifting energy that people want to be around, through small, intentional choices. So, where do you start? Begin with self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect on where you're at, your strengths, your blind spots, your goals. From there, focus on one or two areas we've talked about today. Maybe it's being more present in conversations, setting clearer boundaries, or pursuing a passion you've been putting off. The key is consistency. Small steps taken daily lead to big changes over time. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Growth is a journey, not a race. One final piece of masculine energy worth highlighting is resilience. Life is full of setbacks, and a man who can bounce back from adversity with grace and determination has a strength that's deeply compelling. Resilience isn't about pretending everything's fine or powering through pain without reflection. It's about facing challenges head-on, learning from them, and coming out stronger. Women are drawn to men who show they can weather the storms of life, not because they're invincible, but because they have the grit to keep moving forward. This quality, built through perseverance and a growth mindset, makes you a pillar of stability and inspiration. Thank you so much for watching this deep dive into masculine energy. I hope it's given you some insights and practical steps to bring more of this energy into your life. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who might vibe with it, and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Drop a comment below. Let me know what resonated with you or what you'd add to this conversation. Until next time, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep being your authentic self. See you in the next one.